Forgive any technical hiccups, but the person who's streaming today has much better internet than I do, so hopefully it's showing up a little better live than it usually does. So what are we doing today, guys? I think we talked a little bit about it beforehand, but I think we're doing tilemap stuff.
Yeah.
Having an adventure.
So, Richard, you were talking about possibly, showing off a bunch of different interactions that you could have with the tile map, like, reading signs or opening doors or other things that you might use in a game.
Yeah. So this is going to be a little less action-y than most of the other games that we make on stream. This one's going to be more about kind of just walking around and doing things. And hopefully it'll show up some things that would be useful in kind of a bigger game that could have action. So I've already started just drawing a few random tiles right now because I was bored while we were waiting. And I've got a wooden floor, some bricks for a wall, and a little sign right here. And I should also probably make just a blank one that I can use to fill everything else in. So does anyone have any good ideas for kind of a story or something that we could tell in this sort of setting?
Yeah, I think you should have to solve a problem, like either like find something or find someone. I don't know. Okay.
So that sounds like we're going to probably need someone who can give us the problem to solve. So that's good. We can have an NPC type character. In addition to our signs and such. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. So right now we've got walls and a floor. It's looking a little busy though, so I might go back and tweak these later if we have time. But let's go ahead and make another tile that we're going to use to spawn the NPC. And so this tile, I'm just going to make it something that we can reference. So I'm going to call it NP. Whoops. Let's see. And I'm just going to straight write this on here because I'm going to try and cover up this tile so that the player never actually sees it. But we want to.
What's an NPC?
It's a non-player character. So NPCs are generally the people in games who give you quests or tell you information about the world or, anything that's not really controlled by the player. I think that specifically it generally doesn't refer to things like enemies. It's more things that are kind of neutral or allied towards the player that you talk to and give you information. So in this case, I'm just imagining someone who's going to say like, oh no, this is happening. Please help me.
Maybe
and I'm going to go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe we have to lay like a ghost to rest or something. I'm trying to think of
what?
A ghost?
Oh, a ghost. I thought you said a goat.
A goat.
Yes, I also heard goat, and am relieved that is not the case.
Do you not want to draw a little 16 by 16 goat?
Oh, I like Daryl's like spooky idea though. Like, yeah, like maybe it's a ghost who like needs something or like,
It could be a goat ghost. Need some grass.
It could be. We'll see when I start drawing sprites whether or not I am capable of doing that.
It could be a ghost goat and it needs ghost grass in order to pass.
All right, well, real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and mark out the walls on my tile map. And I'm being very sloppy with it, so let me go ahead and fix that up. I'm also going to mark the sign as a wall, so we don't want players to walk through that, and also the NPC. I think the NPC is not going to be moving around. It's probably just going to be a character that sits there and you can go up and interact with them. So the programming is going to end up being a lot like a sign, but I think we might do some looping animation or something to make it look more alive. All right, let's go ahead and do that. And you know what? I think we need one more thing real quick, which is a spawn tile for the hero. And this one will be visible to the player because I'm not going to set it or anything. So I'm probably going to just make it look something that is kind of nondescript, but I'll be able to recognize it. So I'm going to do a flower. And I'll do some other random, oh no, other way around. This is my preferred way of doing grass.
You said flower and not key, right?
Yes, Joey. All right. So let's go ahead and create our player sprite. So I'm going to rename this variable to be my favorite, the player. And whoops, I'm just clicking too fast today. It's because I'm using a mouse. Usually when I do the streams, I'm using a trackpad. All right, let's go ahead and make the sprite a little smaller so that I don't have to draw as much. And I'm going to do some eyes.
It could be like a series of tasks chained to each other. And at the end you produce whatever, ghost grass, something better than that.
Like one person won't give you this thing until you do the next, or like you do this to get the.
I should probably give this guy an outline.
You have to like trade this thing for the next thing you need, or like, I don't know.
Ooh, a trade quest. My favorite thing in Zelda games. That sounded sarcastic, but I do like them. They're fun.
I've only played one Zelda game. My favorite thing was to climb.
Which
Which
Zelda
one
played,
did you play?
Breath of the Wild.
The only one with climbing in it?
Fair,
Well, actually,
fair.
I played 2. I tried to play Link Between the Worlds, but then I had to return it back to the library, so I didn't finish it. There's no climbing in that game.
You can only
Okay.
climb in one Zelda game?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's like climbing on
Ladders and
walls,
stuff.
like ladders
Yeah.
and mossy walls.
That's not what I like climbing.
Yeah, free climbing.
Yeah.
But in Breath of the Wild, you can just climb anywhere, which is neat. It was a first for the series.
Super.
Okay. So I've dragged out my move the player so we can move with buttons. And just like always, I forget to do the follow with the camera. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And then we also want to make sure that we spawn on top of the tile that I marked. So we're going to go into the scene category and drag out a place on top of random. And we're going to place them on top of this flower tile. And we'll change this to the player. Cool. So now we're over here. This looks a little out of place right now, but I'm going to probably do some more grass later when I fill in the tile map at the end. So let's go ahead and start with, I think, the sign, and then we'll do the NPC, because the NPC is kind of the more complicated of the two. So the behavior I'm thinking is that when you press A, if you're next to the sign, you'll see some text show up, and it'll just be a message. So to do that, the first thing I want to do is drag out an on A button pressed. And now what we want to do is, I think we want to check every tile around the player. Well, so I guess this is a decision we can make. Should you be able to interact with the sign from behind?
I like it when you do that and it makes a little joke about you not being able to read backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that too.
Good.
There was also in Pokemon Ruby version, there was a sign you could read the back of, and it said like, "You're not supposed to read this side." There's like one sign in the game.
I like it when games are generous with, you being able to interact with things, as long as like it's not ambiguous. There's not something else there that you could also interact with.
We could make it so you
Yeah.
can read it from the front, left, and right, and then have the joke in the back still.
I think we should just be able to read it from the front for now, just because of what Daryl said. If we had two signs that were next to each other, and I were to be like right here and press A, then it would be kind of unclear which one I'm referring to. At least in this case, if I press A from the front, I'll always be able to check the tile that is above me. So let's go with that for now. And the first thing I want to do is I want to figure out what tile is above me. So I think I'm going to have to add the tilemap extension.
Yeah.
Tile 2.
No. Yeah, there we go. Got this one. This will work.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
So we're going to check the tile to the top of the player, and we're going to see if it is the sign. And if it is, then we're going to go into game and drag out the show long text block. And right now, I'm just going to write in some message like, and so if we go over and we press A, we can see that text. I don't like this dialogue, though. It's not really gelling with the black and white theme. So inside of the game, there is a set dialogue frames and set dialogue cursor that you can use to customize this thing. And I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I don't know if we have some black and white ones. Nah, all these have too many colors.
Whoa,
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen that gallery, actually. I had no
Really?
idea we had this.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty great. If you've just been using the default one that I drew, you should definitely try checking out the gallery to see the ones that were done by a professional artist. They're much better than.
Some of them
I did.
needed a little bit of tweaks to get to fit just right, because they have to be 3x3, multiple of 3x3.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
how does this dialogue stuff work? It's not the right size for the text.
I will show you real quick. So we have basically a kind of nifty way of doing these dialogues that let you make them in a way that they can be stretched. And the way it works is you want to imagine that this is divided into 9 squares. So we have the corners that I've marked out here. And then we have the squares that are in between the corners. And we have the center, which I'm also going to fill in real quick. And I think the easiest way to kind of show how this works is I'm just going to go ahead and show some text now, and we should see that basically this got stretched out. So we can see my corners down here, the white corner right here, there, there, and there. And these black areas in between are just the things that are in between those white corners inside of my tiny image repeated. So if I were to go in here and put a dot right there, then on the bottom of the frame, we should now see a dotted line, which is cool. So it just takes that image and just kind of repeats it over and over again. And actually, I like how that dotted line looks. I'm going to do this.
Nice. So is it always 3x3 for each of these, or can you make it larger?
Yep. So it can be any size, but it needs to be a multiple of 3.
Multiple of 3.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you had it, you could do 15 by 15, or
I think the
3 by
biggest might be 36 by 36 in the built-in ones.
Yeah. So you can get pretty big with it. The larger you make it, though, the less room you'll have in the middle, because we need to draw all of the borders. So if they're really big, it'll eat into the space that can actually be used for content.
Right.
So I'm also going to change the cursor real quick, which is this A button right here. Tells the player what to hit next. So let's go ahead and go to set dialog cursor. And I'm just going to make this like 8 by 8 is probably good. Cool.
Nice.
Let me actually make it a little A.
An arrow?
Well, I don't actually need any padding, so I can move this hay over. There we go. That probably looks awful. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's friendly. It's like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, make the A 1 pixel taller so it matches.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now we have this text that says, "This is my house," and that's exciting. I think that while I'm doing the NPC, you guys should try and think of what our mystery or what our problem should be. So I'm going to go ahead and make an NPC right now, and I think it's going to be a ghost. And I'm going to add the animation package so that I can have it kind of looping in animation.
Maybe someone took something from the ghost.
Are we against goats?
What if they took the goat from the ghost?
Oh.
That could be a thing.
Their beloved pet goat. So
I was thinking since, like, if it's a goat and we have flowers, maybe the goat died because it didn't have anything to eat.
Oh.
So then we gotta plant flowers around because we're the only source of flowers so far.
Let's see. Ooh, maybe we got locked out of the house, and so we're trying to get back in, and the ghost has the way to get into the house. That's why we need to appease them.
Oh.
Ah.
Because we wouldn't just help them out of
No.
generosity. Yeah, we need something from the ghost.
It's not like we're a good person or something. Or maybe you would help them, but it's just like a side benefit, and you know how that is.
Did the ghost lock us out? And so we gotta?
yeah, you could start inside the house, and then when you walk outside, the door locks behind you, and you can't get back in.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And then you have to talk to the ghost.
Yes. Maybe it's like a good character arc for the ghost because at first we're mad at it because we think it's evil, but then we find out the ghost needs help, and we were the evil ones for not helping it in the beginning.
And the ghost has 3 legs. Perfect.
They aren't legs.
It's like a
They're little.
ghost.
They're little ghost wisps.
Yeah.
Okay, but we still haven't decided what the ghost wants.
Maybe it wants to.
Ghost arms? He doesn't have any little arms to help with stuff?
No.
He wants arms? Is that what you're saying, Joey?
Yeah.
Joey is just having fun making fun of my art.
No, I like this art a lot. This one reminds me of what's its name from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, I think. Blue.
Blue.
Yes.
Where are you, Ghost?
Stop.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't set loop on.
Okay, maybe the ghost is trying to help us because we are spending all this time inside our house and we're neglecting the yard. So the ghost is like, you gotta stay outside a little bit, and we're mad at the ghost. Really, we gotta do stuff that will help the environment of our house.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because you could be like, oh, you need to like plant some flowers, and then you have to like, find some seeds and like find a watering can, that sort of thing, or like find a bush and then extract seeds from it and like
be a plant thief, cut off some trimmings, put them in the ground, propagate.
Yeah, I like that. Let's go with that. We just have a vindictive ghost who's really a ghost for no reason.
I mean, there's
There we
a
go.
game reason why he's a ghost, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to lock you out of the house. So you
I guess
can
that's
because he's a sneaky ghost.
It's the ghost of all the house plants that you forgot to water.
Oh.
All right. Well, real quick. So we're gonna start out inside of our house. We're gonna go outside. When we go outside, the door will shut behind us, and we need to go around and water the grass and things until we have a suitable amount of plants. Then when we go back and talk to the ghost, they will either approve or deny our garden.
Awesome.
And then when we go back inside, that'll be the winning for the game. Does that sound right?
Sounds good.
All right. It's a lot of stuff. We'll see if we can get to all of it. Okay,
Maybe
so
the flower
first
could be the key. And then it could be the ghost turn the key into a ghost key. And he'll turn it back.
Yeah, I like the idea of like you grow a flower and then it opens up and there's a key inside. Is this a tombstone?
What? No, it's a door.
Oh,
Maybe the ghost is a ghost lawyer appointed by the dead spirits of the plants that were neglected.
I don't know anything about ghost law, though.
They'll ask us our name, and they'll be like, "You've been served. Gotta plant some seeds."
All right. So I'm going to get rid of this tile then, because now we're going to be starting inside of the house. And that means I can go ahead and get rid of this block. So let me pull that out real quick.
Okay, you want to just place on top of random? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no
Your
problem.
regular starting place kind of works.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as that. So now when we walk outside, we want to close the door. And so the easiest way to do that, I think, is to just, as soon as we lock on top of a black tile, so in the on overlap event, we will go ahead and set this tile, which I'm just going to hard code, to be the doors tile and set wall to be on. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So first I'm going to create a variable called the door is shut. And we're going to go into scene and drag out an on overlaps block. Can set this to be that. And you know what? I don't think I actually have to do a hard code the position, because I can just set the tile above the player to be the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So first things first, we want to check this variable. So if the door is shut, then we don't want this code to run. So I need to actually put a not there. Let me go into logic, check out a not. And then I'm going to set the door is shut to be true. And you notice I never set it to be false. That's because Boolean start as false. So this code will work as is. So the next thing we want to do is we want to set the tile above the player to be that. So I think that in the scene category, there should be one for setting the image and the wall at a location. But we need to figure out what to put in these column and row arguments. And there's an easy way to do that. Should be easier, but this is the way to do it right now. If I go into drag out the square root block, there is one operation in here called integer divide. And this is the same thing as normal divide. It just makes sure that what you give out is an integer. So there will be no what's the word? Fractional component.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing after the dot.
Yeah.
Decimal?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this is a nice trick because we can figure out the column and row by just doing an integer divide by 16, because all of our tiles are 16 pixels wide and 16 pixels tall. So if we divide the current X position by 16, we'll get the column. And if we divide the Y position by 16, we'll get the row. So let's do that real quick. Also, do we have just a plain old location? Yeah, cool. So I'm going to create a variable and put this as door location. And this will be useful because it means I can actually reuse this door location later when we unlock the door again, which is nifty. Oops. Yep, forget. It's always best to do math outside of the block because otherwise random things are going to pop out. So I need the X here, and we're going to change this to be the sprite. That won't work though, so I'm just going to use the player because it is the player in this case. Whoops.
Why wouldn't sprite work?
You can't drag it into anything that's outside of the function.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Or the event handler.
All right, so we have the tilemap column, the player X divided by 16, the player Y divided by 16. This will give us the location of the player. We actually want one above. So we're going to subtract one from the row. Because if you remember, in Marcade, Y goes down. So if we're trying to get the tile above, we actually want to have one less in the row argument.
Actually, since overlaps is isn't the meaning of overlaps that you just barely started touching it? So
yeah, you're right, I think.
I think we'll it'll reference the right place.
The first time we overlap will be still on top of the door.
That's fine. Let's just try this out and see what happens. So I'm going to set the tile to be the closed door. I'm going to pass in the door location. And I'm going to set wall to be on. And there you go. Like they said, the door shut behind me. There is a problem with this code, though, that, oh, actually, maybe there isn't a problem. Yeah, okay. It's a little wonky. So we want to make sure that the player is completely out of the space before we set it. And I think the easiest way to do that is just to set the door location to this. And this will look a little glitchy, but it'll get the job done. We're going to place the sprite on top of the sprite below the location below the door location. So I'm going to change this to the player. I'm going to duplicate this. And now I'm going to subtract 1. Oh, whoops. It should be in math.
So you want to add 1?
Yes. All right, and now, there you go. Kind of glitch out there for a second, but it gets the job done. So I'm
I feel like the door's sort of slamming you out, you know? I feel like it fits the flavor.
Yeah.
We can animate that later.
Yeah. I wonder if you could have a little speech bubble or something that's like, whoa, the door just pushed me out.
Like anybody would say in that situation.
Whoa, door, that was rude. Ooh. 4 period.
Mysterious.
How you know they mean business.
Love it.
No, I like the 4 periods.
Well, if you're going to make a joke about it, I'm going to remove it. So. It should be more like 2 seconds, maybe. Okay, still a little fast. Let's do 3. See how that goes. Let me unmute you guys because I accidentally muted. All right, that might still be a little fast, but we're just going to leave it as is for now. Okay, so now that we're outside, we should be able to go over and talk to our ghost friend. So I'm actually going to go into our A button pressed handler. The reason that I made the sprite for the ghost have a black background was so that it completely covered up the NPC tile that it's on top of, because we don't want the player to see that. But the tile is still there, you just can't see it. And this means we can basically duplicate this code. And instead of checking if the tile is the sign, we can check if the tile is the NPC. and show the text that the ghost says, which will be, I have shut your door because of your poor lawn maintenance. So close. Okay, so I need to add 3 spaces right here to make it look a little better. Perfect. All right. What next?
I love it.
All right.
Should we also introduce the ghost? Like, I'm from the Ghost Owners Association.
Would this be a good time to use your storytelling extension?
Yes, but I didn't prepare it.
Yeah.
It could just be. Oh.
I guess let's do 2 H's, and it'll be Haunted Homeowners Association.
Perfect.
Let me just pull this out so I can iterate on this a little faster. Max. All right. That's good?
Yes.
Seems good.
Great.
Okay. So next thing's up, we need to put a watering can somewhere. So let's go ahead and go into the tile map again. And I'm going to draw a watering can tile, which should be easy, I think. So what is that? A rectangle with a spout.
Should the spout be at the bottom?
Huh?
If the spout's at the bottom, they're just gonna pour out all the time, isn't it?
It's so then you don't have to tip. Yeah, you don't have to like tip too much. It doesn't matter.
This is not a very good watering can.
I would put those strong corners back in, maybe. I feel like. Yeah. I think that's good.
Like this?
Well, and one more. I think I like the wide tip.
Move the handle over 1 sprite, like, or 1 pixel further from the spout.
Yeah.
All right.
It's great.
So we'll put this up here. And I think in order to cover up for my bad art, what we're going to do is when the player overlaps that, so let's drag out another on overlaps event. Overlaps watering can at location. We are going to first get rid of the watering can. So to do that, I'm going to go into scene, and I'm going to drag out another set tile, and I'm going to use this local location, which should be the location of the watering can. And I'm going to set it to be just a blank tile. And then I'm going to have the player say,
Could you create a sprite watering can that follows the player? Maybe that's too much.
I mean, I could do that, but that's not what watering cans do.
But this is a ghost watering can.
The following sort of
Follow is it overlaps you eventually though, and since it's all black and white, I think it'll.
right. It'll look weird. Yeah.
All right. So this works okay. The text is a little cut off, and so to fix that, I'm just going to make my tile map bigger, which I was probably going to have to end up doing at some point anyway. So let's go ahead and just make it twice as wide. Oh, nope, wrong one. Okay, and I'm also going to create a variable now, which is has watering can. And I'm going to set has watering can to be true. So since we're already using the A button for the kind of interact command, I'm going to add another button pressed event now, but this one's going to be for the B button pressed. And I think what we're going to do is put in a logic block, see if we has watering can. Actually, I'm going to say has watering can, and we want to check to see if we are over a dirt tile, so just a blank tile. So I'm going to drag out our tile to direction of my sprite block, change this to be the player, change this to be the center or the right. Center for now. I'm going to do that. If this is true, then whoops. We want to do the same kind of location calculation that we did before. So I'm just going to duplicate this to get the tile that the player is currently on top of. And we want to set that to be the flowery thing. All right, let's test this out real quick.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay. So this is great. I think it actually looks pretty good with the the flowers like this.
Yeah.
So now what we need to do is we need to probably determine at what point we're like good enough. And I think the way that I'm going to do that is going to be kind of silly, but it'll be fun. We're going to have a logic. I'm going to go into arrays and get length. And then I'm going to go into scene, and we're going to get an array of all blank tiles. And what we're going to do is we're going to check if the length of all of the ground tiles is less than the length of all of the flower tiles. So you have to have more flowers than blank ground for it to be successful. And I'm going to put this check inside of, you're going to have to talk to the ghost to verify that you've done enough. So let's go ahead and put in another logic block right here. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we need to figure out if we're going to say the first text or the other text. So we should probably have a, I want them to be able to see this text as many times as they want to before they've picked up the watering can. So I'm thinking that instead of using the watering can, we'll just check to see if if they have any flowers already. So if the number of flower tiles that we have is, you know what, I'm going to create variables for this just to make it a little easier.
think you're missing the length. Oh.
Oh, yes, you're correct. All right, so we've got the number of grass tiles here, number of flower tiles here. We're going to say if the number of flowers equals 0, so number of flowers equals 0, then we're going to show this text that we've already made. Else, if the number of flowers is less than the number of grass, so let me go ahead and drag out those variables. Then we're going to say something like, not good enough.
Your HHO doesn't approve yet.
Call that.
I like that.
So if the number of flowers equals 0, we show this text. If the number of flowers is less than the number of grass, we say you call that a lawn. And then in the final case, which is the number of flowers is either equal to or greater than the number of grass, then we want to say like,
what a lawn.
Don't let it happen again.
And we are going to get rid of the door. So what we're going to do now is I'll drag this and this. And because we already have this door location and I never said it again, we can just reuse this variable, which is nice. So I'll set the wall off and I will set the door to be, actually, I think we had it as
Interior.
Okay. So I think our game should be mostly done now. We might do some more fun stuff since we have a little bit of time left, but let me go ahead and just try and run through it real quick. Did I forget anything before I do this?
So winning the game, you probably want to see, like, you know, if you're back inside and the door is shut or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So
Well, I think we have all the variables we need, right?
I don't think so.
Well, if you know you're
Well, you
inside
can't
and
touch
the
the
Because if the door is not shut and you're inside, like I am right now.
but you have the watering can.
but if the door is shut and you touch the
Oh,
Anyway.
okay.
Many ways to do this.
yeah, or we could do the watering can, which does require you to be outside for sure. Maybe safer.
Or number of grass tiles greater than 0, or anything.
So we have if has watering can, and yeah, we just need if has watering can. Then we're going to do game over. Win. All right. Let's go now. Okay. Whoa, the door closed by itself. I am from your HHOA, Haunted Homeowners Association. I have shut your door because of your poor lawn maintenance. To re-enter your home, you must plant some flowers. Okay? And if I keep talking, just keep saying that same thing. Yeah.
I like how we're conflating lawn and flowers here. They're basically the same thing.
There's lawn when you plant it, right? There's a few little grass tufts.
This
We
might
did
take a
forget
while.
to integrate the sign into our story, but that's okay.
I like
You
the
know,
sign.
The sign's important. It's a little red herring.
I think our first addition should be a random array of mean things that you have to say about your lawn.
Yeah, that was my plan.
It turns out there are a lot of tiles when you have a wide tile map.
This is thematic for Garden Jam.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Oh.
I need 2
This is a
spaces.
great game.
All right. Well, yep. So we've got some time left. So now we can just do kind of some fun stuff. The first thing was make a few different insults you can have. And I could do that with an array, but I'm just going to have some, I guess.
Actually, yeah. I was gonna say you could have it for like, number of grass greater than 10, number greater than 20, greater than blah.
Yes, but then I would have to figure out how many tiles we have.
Let's see.
Okay, I didn't use this variable, so I'm just going to rename it to be insult. And we're going to do a random range of, I'm just going to do 3 so that we have time to do some other fun stuff too. And we'll go ahead and put an equals in here. Has anyone got a third one?
Trying to think.
Vivian, can you make a poem for the third one?
All right, that's a limerick. I'll think of something.
All right. Someone think of a third one.
That's else if equals condition.
Oh, yeah, you're right. In the meantime, I think I'm going to put some stuff inside your house. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate this, and I think I'm going to make a rug. Sounds like fun.
Oh, it's gonna be a big rug. I guess books have to be big.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to end up looking like a bear rug.
Oh no.
I'm not hearing anyone come up with insults.
I can't find a
Vivian,
rhyme for homeowner.
Oh.
All a loner?
Once was a lazy homeowner whose stones were all a loner.
We can make it like a slant.
A slam poem? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, like a slant, like rhyme by starting the next sentence with an R sound. Whose stones were all alone, and then start the next part with an R. I don't think that's the right term.
Right now.
Right now he's locked out.
Ah, out is easy to rhyme. And I'm going to shout. Now we just need a regular insult to end our poem.
The last
Wait,
word
but
is.
does it have to rhyme with anything though?
I think it needs to rhyme with homeowner.
Oh no.
It's a more difficult insult.
Let's see.
Poetry is a difficult profession, guys.
Rhyming dictionary.
I'm looking up owner and we have known her. blood donor.
That's good. Work that one in.
I'll
Okay.
make you a blood donor.
I'll make you a. Wait, it could be any kind of donor. I'll make you a flower donor. Poetry's all about hard work.
This rhyming dictionary I found is really awful. It's trying to rhyme like amber. It's like, yeah, I guess it ends in R.
Slant rhyme, right?
Yeah.
It is
That
the
was
color
it.
of our energy. This is a weird rug.
It's artistic. It's, you know.
Kind of looks. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good.
Maybe it was a gift.
It's not obvious that it's the gift rug, so you have to have it, but you don't really
Yeah.
want. Maybe. Do you want global warming? This is how you get global warming. Not taking care of your green space.
I think it's actually
Yeah,
taking
it's
care
the
of
other
lawns
way.
is bad.
Yep. Definitely.
Can we work the phrase bush league in?
Bush league?
Oh no!
Well, we
Oh
could use
no!
bush
Open it
league
back
to
up.
describe the
Undo?
lawn.
Does undo work? Yeah.
What? Yeah, it works.
Oh.
Usually if you click it works. Controls. Owner is a really hard word to rhyme.
Here, I'll send
Ugh.
the poem so far to the chat.
How will you yell at kids to get off if you don't have a lawn?
Ooh.
Thing. Man, sometimes the creative energy for rhymes just doesn't come.
I don't know if I ever have creative energy for rhymes. I think I was born without that.
Isn't the issue like we need to create the words? That's how Shakespeare did it.
Right.
So I'll create a new word that rhymes with owner.
Home loaner.
Wait, toner rhymes. Was that even one of the options they gave me? Toner. Oh, it was. Shout.
Are you gonna try and would I have to draw a printer if you were using toner?
It could be like insulting your flowers. It's like your lawn looks like it had run out of toner.
I like that.
Okay. So please suggest other things if you think of
I like
it.
the box.
No, I think it works.
Run out of toner.
Okay, 5-minute warning.
See, that's gonna mess up the.
Oops.
Well, we can just change that to occur on collision with rocks.
Oh, cute.
And this will
Oh,
make
yeah.
it so you have to do fewer flowers as well, which I think is good.
The exiting code needs to be updated.
Oh yes.
I mean, you can have a door there. There's no rules that doors can't be in roads.
I don't think that passes the
What's that top
Association
right
test.
corner?
Yeah, there we go. The rug is dead, guys.
What? No, it's
Say
Fine.
goodbye to the rug.
Oh.
And then I'm also going to make the path go over to our ghost friend. And I also will probably just make it kind
Designate-
of go up here, but I think I'm going to make it not go all the way to the watering can.
They got to figure that one out themselves.
Oh, another insult could be, do you even know how to use that watering can?
All right, I think we're done, guys.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
don't
you-
we have
Gotta name it.
we get the
Give me a
poem?
name.
Yeah, we got to put the poem in as the fourth.
Okay, I don't think I can put the poem in.
The poem's
the
kind of
time we have
late.
remaining because I
Okay.
have to format it and stuff. So,
All right.
all right, so we're thinking of a name.
Even the ghosts think your lawn is neglected.
Ghostly lawn.
Judgmental ghosts.
Lawn not even good enough for the dead. I don't know. Haunted house care? Lawn care?
Homeownership.
Grown home goaler go no.
Haunted home ownership.
I like it.
All right. Well, this has been the Arcade Advanced stream for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Richard at Richard on the forum.
And I'm Daryl at Darzu on the forum.
I'm Joey at J1Daryl on the forum.
I'm Shannon at Shakao on the forum.
And I'm Vivian. I live cheerful on the forum.
There being 4 people that I cut off Vivian. Make sure you guys tune in on Thursday, I think, for a very special Arcade Advanced stream where we're going to be working with Stin, who is one of the designers on Gear of War, and he's going to be walking us through some game design concepts. It'll be a lot of fun, so make sure you turn in for that. All right, that's it.